Hi, my name is Rasmus Künstlicher and I am a level designer. In this video I will be going through a shoot-'em-up boss fight that I scripted in Unity using C#. It was created on half time during 3 weeks. This exercise is focused solely on scripting and not to make it visually appealing. The player controls a dragon and the goal is to defeat the huge samurai robot. The dragon movement is driven by physics and is manipulated using WASD. You shoot ordinary fireballs by pressing O and homing fireballs with P. If the dragon is hit by a bullet or by an enemy, the dragon dies and a life is lost. When 0 life remains, the game is over. When the game is started, a pool of bullets is created outside of camera view. They are used on demand and returns here after they die. I wanted to avoid instantiating during runtime to save performance, but if the pool runs out, a new bullet is created and used in the same way as the others. The next iteration of this system would be to disable objects completely in addition to moving them off the screen. This is the first out of 3 phases. The boss has a simple idle animation and it is protected by 3 turrets. The turrets aim towards the dragon and shoot projectiles towards him. The projectiles can be shot down by the player and will then catch fire and fall to the ground. Upon being hit, the turrets take damage and flashes to white. Flashing to white is very important feedback in a shoot-'em-up, but it was quite hard to solve. I didn't want white sprites of every enemy in every state that replaced the current one and then switch back again. Instead, I created a bright white directional light that only affected certain physics layers. Upon taking damage, enemies switch to the lit layer and then switches back again, making the feedback work in all cases, and it saved me a lot of time. When the turret health reaches 0, it explodes and smoke comes out of it. It stops to aim and shoot towards the player, and the little samurai pilot disappears. After some time, a new samurai mounts the turret and it continues the fight. If the pilot's head is hit, the turret is killed instantly and the head flies away, spraying blood around it. When an enemy is killed, there is a chance that a power-up is dropped. A manager gets told when an enemy dies and wants to drop a power-up. Right now there is only 1 power-up in the game, but it is set up so that it is easy to add more. When touching the sushi pickup, the dragon gets his ultimate attack, an energy beam that shoots out of his mouth. All bullets hit by the beam catches fire and flies away, and enemies take damage over time while touched by the beam. When shooting at the helmet's visor, it takes damage, and when it's destroyed, the boss enters phase 2. The 2 lower turrets are destroyed and the boss's mouth opens. Its weak point is now the joint inside of the mouth, a much smaller target. Even if it's only the joint that can take damage, I decided to make the whole lower jaw give damage feedback so it would be more clear when a hit was effective. In phase 2, the samurai minions enter the game. They are controlled by a manager that has tweakable variables like speed, jump height and max delay. It also controls which of the predetermined points on the boss that the samurai will jump to after an attack. When the manager decides to attack the player, one samurai crouches down and then jumps towards the player's current position. It will not follow player movement since that would make the game way too hard. While in the air, the samurai moves in an arc. Mainly because it looks better, but also so that the player can estimate the point the samurai is moving towards. If the player gets close enough, the samurai swings his sword that will kill the player on hit. If the player is too far away, it will not attack, because samurais are too cool to swing their swords without reason. Then, the samurai jumps back to a new position on the boss, where it idles until it attacks again. If a samurai is killed, either by taking damage or on a headshot, it drops down and disappears. Blood sprays out of it and it is tinted darker because he's burned by the dragon's fire. When the jaw has taken enough damage, it flies off and the boss enters the 3rd and final phase. A new heavier idle animation tells the player that the boss is getting tired. This animation also blocks the last weak point, the spine, making it harder to hit. In this phase, the boss himself also attacks the player. Periodically, the boss jumps in the air and a laser cannon emerges from its stomach. He shoots a green laser that destroys anything in its way and moves up and down across the screen. When this happens, a destroyed turret flies in an arc and gives the player a chance to dodge the attack. When the boss is destroyed, it explodes and the game is won. Old Samurai and the Last Turret are disabled, and the player is given an option to return to the main menu. You can play the game on my portfolio website, rasmusk.se, using Unity's web player plugin. Thank you for watching this presentation.